At the start of 2020, we had less than 1,000 subs on YouTube. In July 2023, that same channel hit 1 million. And I spent over $100,000 on coaching, made every possible mistake you could, and at one point, nearly quit. But during that time, I also discovered a few proven principles that actually work. And in this video, I want to share the 5 rules of YouTube growth that allowed us to hit 1 million subscribers in just a few years. But first, we have to understand a crucial mindset that makes all of this possible. When I first started YouTube with my brother Mike, I was in medical school and he was already a practicing doctor. It started off as just a creative outlet. We were just having fun making hospital vlogs, app reviews, and study videos. And for a couple years, that was it. Mike and Matty with no game plan, just making stuff. But then out of the blue, we got lucky with our first viral video. It was a Notability versus Good Notes comparison, and it was freaking sick. We were so hyped up about it, like we thought we'd finally figured something out. And for months after that, we kept trying to repeat that and chase that high, but we couldn't. And that's when it finally clicked. The truth is, you don't get consistent growth on accident. And real, meaningful growth only happened once I stopped treating YouTube like a hobby and I started running it like a business. I had to set goals and weekly deadlines. I had to think about what systems do I need? What impact did I want my content to have? And why should anyone even invest in my story and my content? According to YouTube, less than 1% of channels ever hit 100K. So if you're serious and you want to join the top 1%, which I'm willing to bet you are since you're watching this video, then you have to change your approach. That means fully accepting that YouTube takes time. If social medias are a long game, then YouTube is like the ultra marathon. It requires way more resources, more skills, more training, more energy than any other platform to grow on. But that also means, like any game, you can get better and you can win if you keep playing. So going back to our first year on YouTube, I was juggling medical school, exams, trying to create content whenever I could squeeze the time in. And I know Mike was doing the same. Maybe I'd make a video one week, I'd disappear for 3 more weeks, I'd come back for a few days, and then, I'd ghost the channel for another month or something. And I knew from all the advice that it's out there that you need to be consistent. But it wasn't for the reason that you might think. Because every time I came back to my content, it felt like I was starting over. I'd forget all the editing hotkey and shortcuts that I'd figured out. I had to rewatch tutorials to relearn things, or reread books and articles to get the ideas again for my content. And speaking on camera just never got less awkward. To be honest, it still is kind of awkward, but you learn to live with it. Imagine learning piano by practicing once a month, then going hard for 3 straight days, and then taking 2 months off. You'd never get better at it. So rule number 1 of growth is to commit to a consistent posting schedule. We chose 1 video a week, no excuses. Even if that meant filming at 11 p.m. after a hospital shift. Even if Karen or some other, op from high school or college is gonna think you're cringe or perceive you in a weird way. Creating YouTube videos is learnable, but it's not just 1 skill. It's 10 skills, persuasion, design, teaching, public speaking, storytelling, editing. All of those have to work together. But if you commit to a schedule, then it creates the opportunity for you to get 1% better with each edit. Consistency creates space to learn and build skills and develop confidence, which reinforces more consistency. But once you've locked in consistency, you need to know exactly which skills to focus on. And this is actually where I think a lot of creators get stuck. Because after the commitment, the videos were definitely getting better, but we weren't hitting that explosive growth that other similar YouTubers were hitting. But looking back now, it was so obvious why. Take a look at the first 20 to 30 videos on our channel. Do you see a pattern here? Yes, it's a trick question and exactly my point, because there is none. Our videos were all over the place. We did supplement reviews, we did random lo-fi and binaural beat mixes, app comparisons, study tips, vlogs. This is probably the most common problem that beginning YouTubers make. Rule number 2 is to focus on a specific transformation. Most people call this niching down, but there's a subtle nuance between a niche and a specific transformation. Niches like productivity or learning are too vague in general, but a transformation is clear. What are your videos going to help someone do? For us, we got super specific in helping students improve their learning skills to get better grades using science-based systems and digital tools. And in 2025, with so many new creators joining the game, the algorithms are changing, which makes this even more important. YouTube is a business, and as a business, they want to serve the best content for their customers, which are the viewers. And so if you just make random content, then the YouTube algorithm doesn't know how to categorize your content and give it to the right person. But when you're crystal clear on your transformation, then YouTube knows to serve that meal to the right people. But now that you know what transformation you're creating, you also need to understand how to actually deliver it. Over the summer in my third year of medical school, I remember I had a little bit of time, and so I spent all of it learning how to edit more advanced YouTube videos. I got some expensive gear, and I started obsessing over quality production. And with that, I would spend a lot more time on any video, like 20 hours or something on a particular video, trying to get everything perfect. And I'd record multiple takes until I sounded like a frog and, do all these fancy editing tricks and get all this B-roll and stuff. But the growth of the channel was just stuck. And I remember one night in particular, I was so exhausted after coming home from work that I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna post a super low effort video with next to no editing at all. And you know what happened? It performed just as well as a video that I'd spent weeks on. And that made me realize, if most of the stuff I was doing didn't actually make a difference, then what things actually do make a difference? And now after 5 years of testing, failing, and analyzing thousands of videos, I can tell you that there are exactly 2 things that matter more than anything else combined. Rule number 3 is to hyper obsess over titles and thumbnails. If you've ever heard of the 80-20 principle, this is the 20% for YouTube. These 2 things here will determine 80% of your video success, and 80% of the other stuff you do will have a marginal impact on how well it does. Because it doesn't matter how incredible your content is, or that transition you spent 2.5 hours doing, or all those B-roll montages that you spent hours filming. If people don't click your video, they won't see it, they won't get the value from it, and they won't get that transformation. So what does it actually mean to hyper obsess? For us, it means dedicating time for think tank sessions. Every single week, we block out specific time, no distractions, no editing, no filming, and just brainstorming 5 to 10 different titles and thumbnails for every single video. And we do this before we even touch the script or the camera to start filming. Now, the next question becomes, how do you actually come up with these ideas? And more importantly, how do you know if the ideas are even good? Well, that's exactly what rule number 4 is all about. I remember on weekends, I'd have free time from school and I would work on content. I'd sit down with my laptop, I'd open up a blank Notion page and just try to force original ideas out of my brain, right? Just pull them out if I could. And just getting super frustrated, getting nowhere with it. But do you want to know a secret about original ideas? There are none. Rule number 4 is to imitate before you innovate. Study what's already working from other creators and imitate what they do. Now, you might think this is scammy, it's unethical, but even the biggest creators in the world do this. Like this video here from Matthew Beam. I bought the most expensive airplane ticket. Crazy cool idea, right? Oh wait, Casey Neistat did it 8 years ago. Or this video from Ali Abdal. His dopamine detox video is blowing up right now. Really unique take, right? Except Rian Doris did it 2 years ago, who probably got it from Leon Hendricks, who probably got it from somewhere else too. And here's what's really wild. All of these videos performed well, because if it's a great idea, then people will watch multiple versions. It's like music. If you like a song, you probably want to check out the remixes. You might even like the remixes even more. That doesn't make a remix any less creative though. So to find successful ideas, go to successful channels in your space, sort by most popular, and now you can see proven ideas that are ready to be remixed with your unique perspective. There are also some tools like ViewStats or 1 of 10, which I'll link in the description below, that I've been using to find really great ideas even faster. At this stage, your job is to learn what works and take existing ideas and just run away with them, right? Make them your own, add your own flavor to them until you get the reps in about what makes great content. And you'll know you're on the right track when people start copying you. Like look at these titles and thumbnails directly inspiring another creator's videos. That is a signal that you're at a tipping point for exponential growth. And what you do next is absolutely crucial. In 2022, I think we'd already made over 100 videos And we published this video here called The Ultimate Evidence-Based Study Guide. And that video just hit with our audience. I think it was a 1 out of 10. The engagement was crazy compared to any of our previous videos. And we thought to ourselves, okay, we need to capitalize on this, right? And so we asked, what if we just did it again, but a little bit different? So we made another video, The Ultimate Guide to Pomodoro. Boom, also crushed it. Let's do it again. The Ultimate Mind Map Tutorial. Exploded. Then we did another one, and another one, and another one. And each one just kept doing well. And that was when our channel blew up. We went from 220,000 subscribers to 500,000 subscribers in 6 months. And then 6 months after that, we hit 1 million. Rule number 5 is to double down on your best hits. When you find something that works, you have to go all in. Imagine if after the first iPhone, Apple moved on to making toasters. Crazy, right? But that's what most creators do. They strike gold and then they just start digging somewhere else. When you find that winning idea, just do it again. Do it better, do it bolder until you own that space completely and become known for something. Now, there's something really incredible about these 5 rules. They'll work in 2025, they'll work in 2055, they'll work in 2077 when cyborgs take over the world, because these rules are future-proof. They are foundational principles for growth. And if you follow these rules, the question isn't going to be whether you can do it, it's whether you're willing to do it. And that is a much more important question to answer. And if you're sitting here thinking yes, then your next steps are clear. Remember back to rule number 2 about getting specific with your transformation? Well, I actually created a detailed guide for how to choose your specific transformation based on your unique skills, experiences, and life story. And you can check that out right over here.